Let's take a look.
This chart really highlights the diversity of their revenue streams.
So in Q3 of FY25, their traditional hotel business still contributed a significant 78% of their total revenue.
That's a testament to the continued strength of their core operations.
But here's the interesting part. Those new businesses we talked about, like Ginger Mom and Q-Men, contributed a respectable 6%.
It may seem small compared to the hotel business.
But it shows that these ventures are gaining traction and becoming increasingly important to the overall picture.
And their management fees, the revenue they earn from managing hotels for other companies, contributed another 7%.
That's a direct result of their capital-light expansion strategy.
Proving it's a viable way to grow without taking on excessive risk.
And then we have their reimagined businesses like Tashat's and Chambers contributing a solid 9%.
It's fascinating to see how these new and reimagined ventures are finding their place and adding to the overall revenue mix.
It's the side of a company that's not afraid to experiment, to diversify, to find new avenues for growth.
They're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
So they've got a diverse revenue stream and impressive profitability, but what about their overall financial health?
Are they in a good position to keep growing and weathering any storms that might come their way?
That's where we need to look at their cash flow and liquidity.
Are they generating enough cash to fund their operations and expansion plans?
And do they have enough liquid assets to handle unexpected challenges?
Right, those are the key questions.
The analyst presentation highlights that they have a strong cash flow conversion ratio of 71% in the first 9 months of FY25.
So that basically means they're turning a good chunk of their profits into actual cash.
And their free cash flow for those first 9 months was 789 crores?
That's a healthy amount of cash they have on hand to fund their operations and those ambitious expansion plans we talked about.
They're not hurting for liquid assets either.
How much do they have?
Their gross liquidity position is over 2,800 crores.
That gives them a comfortable cushion to absorb any unexpected bumps in the road.
It's always good to have a rainy day fund, especially in a business as unpredictable as hospitality.
Absolutely. You never know what's around the corner.
So it seems like they're on solid financial footing with healthy cash flow, ample liquidity, and a diverse revenue base.
All the ingredients for continued growth and success.
But it's important to remember that the hospitality industry isn't exactly a smooth ride.
No, it's cyclical, influenced by external factors like the economy and travel trends.
Things can change quickly.
A sudden economic downturn, geopolitical uncertainty.
These factors can quickly impact travel demand and put a damper on even the best-laid plans.
Even with a strong track record and a well-crafted strategy, IHCL will need to stay nimble, adaptable, and prepared to navigate any challenges that come their way.
So let's shift our focus to the broader industry landscape for a moment.
Okay, sounds good.
What are some of the factors that could affect IHCL's journey ahead? What opportunities and challenges do they need to be prepared for?
Well, remember that trend we discussed earlier, demand outpacing supply in the Indian hotel market. The analyst presentation suggests that this trend is likely to continue, which is good news for IHCL. But it also points out that supply growth is expected to pick up in the coming years, especially in major cities like Bengaluru and Hyderabad.
Oh, so that could create some interesting dynamics.
More rooms on the market could lead to increased competition, potentially putting pressure on occupancy rates and pricing power.
So while the continued demand growth is a positive sign,
IHCL will need to tread carefully.
they'll have to be strategic about where they expand and make sure they're not overexposed to markets that might become oversaturated.
Exactly.
Another factor they need to keep an eye on is the increasing competition in the industry as a whole.
It's not just about domestic players either.
Right, we're seeing more and more international hotel brands entering the Indian market.
It's a crowded playing field, and it's only going to get more competitive.
This could trigger price wars and squeeze profit margins.
IHCL will need to find ways to stand out from the crowd, offering something unique and compelling to attract and retain customers.
Their brand diversity, their focus on guest experience, and their commitment to sustainability could be key differentiators.
But they can't afford to become complacent.
They'll need to constantly innovate and adapt to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget about the ever-evolving world of technology.
The hospitality industry is rapidly changing, with new platforms and technologies emerging all the time.
Think about the rise of online travel agencies, mobile booking platforms, and the power of social media marketing.
IHCL will need to embrace these changes and make sure they're reaching their target customers where they are in the digital spaces they inhabit.
And then there's the human element, the travelers themselves.
Today's travelers are more discerning than ever.
They're looking for personalized experiences, seamless technology integration, and a commitment to sustainable practices.
They want to feel like they're part of something bigger, something that aligns with their values.
IHCL seems to be aware of these trends, judging by their investments in personalization technology and that Pathia framework.
But awareness is only the first step.
They'll need to constantly evolve and refine their approach to meet the changing needs and expectations of travelers.
Right. It's an ongoing process.
So we've got a lot of moving parts here, continued demand growth, but also potential oversupply in certain markets.
Intensifying competition, both from domestic and international players.
Rapid technological advancements and evolving traveler preferences.
It's a dynamic and challenging landscape that requires agility, foresight, and a willingness to adapt.
But from what we've seen so far, IHCL seems well equipped to navigate these complexities.
They've got a strong track record, a solid financial foundation, a diverse portfolio of brands and businesses, and a clear vision for the future.
All of that is certainly important.
But let's not forget about the human element, the people who make it all happen.
Their success ultimately depends on their ability to attract, retain, and empower a talented workforce.
You're absolutely right. The hospitality industry is all about people.
IHCL's success hinges on the passion, dedication, and skill of their employees.
They're the ones who create those memorable experiences for guests, the ones who bring the brand to life.
So while we've been dissecting their financial performance, strategic initiatives, and the broader industry landscape,
It's important to remember that the heart of their success lies in their people.
so let's shift our focus now to IHCL's efforts in human capital development.
Okay.
How are they fostering a culture of excellence and creating opportunities for growth within their workforce?
That's a perfect segue into our next topic.
The analyst presentation actually touches upon their initiatives in talent management training and skill development.
Oh, that's right.
What are some of the highlights that jump out at you?
Well, one thing that stands out is their comprehensive talent management framework.
It's all about attracting, developing, and retaining the best talent in the industry.
They're not just focusing on seasoned professionals, though.
Oh, so they're investing in young talent as well.
Exactly. Offering various training programs and apprenticeships to nurture the next generation of hospitality leaders.
That's great to hear.
They've even partnered with various institutions to create specialized hospitality management programs.
Ensuring a steady pipeline of skilled individuals ready to join their ranks.
And they're actively promoting diversity and inclusion within their workforce.
They recognize that a diverse team brings fresh perspectives and a richer understanding of their diverse customer base.
They've implemented several initiatives to empower women and create a more inclusive work environment.
It's encouraging to see a company of their stature prioritize these values and create opportunities for everyone to thrive.
Absolutely.
And their commitment to people extends beyond their own workforce.
Oh, right. Their skill development initiatives.
They're actively contributing to the broader community through those programs.
So they've partnered with NGOs and government agencies to establish skill development centers across the country.
Providing training and employment opportunities for underprivileged youth.
It's a fantastic way to leverage their expertise and resources to make a positive impact on society.
So we've explored their financial performance, their strategic initiatives, their sustainability efforts, their investments in technology, their new business ventures, and even their human capital development programs.
It's been quite an extensive deep dive.
We've uncovered a company with a rich history, a dynamic present, and an ambitious vision for the future.
They're not just building hotels, they're building a legacy of excellence, responsibility, and innovation.
But their journey is far from over.
The hospitality landscape is constantly evolving.
And IHCL will need to adapt, innovate, and stay true to their values to achieve their long-term goals.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do next.
All right, let's pause here for a moment. We've covered a lot of ground, and I'm sure you're processing all this information.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
We'll be back soon to wrap up our exploration of IHCL and discuss what the future might hold for this hospitality giant.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back. We've spent a good chunk of time exploring the inner workings of IHCL.
Yeah, their financial performance, their strategic expansion plans, even their commitment to sustainability and all their work in developing their workforce.
We've seen how they're handling a constantly changing industry, embracing those new ideas, building that comprehensive hospitality ecosystem.
It's been a pretty in-depth look.
But like any successful company, there are always some hurdles to overcome.
And new opportunities to grab.
That's what makes this last part of our deep dive so interesting. We're going to look ahead and consider the potential risks and rewards that might be waiting for IHCL.
That was good.
Let's play a little game of what if. What are some of the biggest opportunities you think IHCL could capitalize on in the coming years?
Well, the continued growth of travel and tourism in India is a huge opportunity. India is becoming a more and more popular destination, both for people traveling within India and those coming from overseas.
So IHCL is in a good spot to ride that wave.
Absolutely, especially with their diverse portfolio of brands, right?
Yeah, they've got something for everyone, from those luxurious Taj hotels to the budget-friendly Ginger properties.
It's exactly. They can attract a wide range of travelers no matter what their budget is.
And don't forget about their expansion into those new and emerging markets.
Right, they're going beyond the typical tourist spots, tapping into that growing desire for unique and off-the-beaten-path travel experiences.
It's a smart strategy, diversifying their portfolio and reducing their dependence on any single market.
Not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Their digital initiatives are another big opportunity. They're investing a lot in technology.
To improve the guest experience, streamline their operations, and drive revenue growth.
That integration of their loyalty program with Tata is a perfect example.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's a win-win, creating a more rewarding experience for those loyal customers and opening up new avenues for collaboration within the Tata ecosystem.
Right, and by using data analytics, they can personalize their offerings and target their marketing campaigns more effectively.
It's all about maximizing their reach and making sure they're connecting with the right people. And they're also in a great position to benefit from that increasing focus on sustainable travel.
Oh, absolutely. Consumers are becoming more and more environmentally conscious, and IHCL's Pathia framework shows they're serious about responsible practices.
Their initiatives in renewable energy waste management and water conservation are not only good for the planet,
But they also appeal to that growing segment of travelers who are actively looking for sustainable options.
it's a smart business move.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've got a booming travel market expansion into new territories, advancements in technology, and a focus on sustainability. It seems like IHCL has a lot going for them.
They do, but every rose has its thorns.
What about those potential risks? What challenges might they run into along the way?
But one of the biggest challenges for any company in hospitality is managing costs, especially with all the economic uncertainty in the world.
Right, input prices can fluctuate, energy costs can go up, labor costs can rise,
All those things can eat into their profitability.
and that increasing competition we talked about.
It could put a real squeeze on their pricing power and their profit margins.
All those international hotel brands coming in and those ambitious domestic players all fighting for a piece of the pie.
IHCL is going to need to find ways to stand out to offer something truly special to stay ahead of the game.
Another risk factor is the chance of economic downturns or geopolitical instability.
Those can have a huge impact on travel demand, and the hospitality industry is especially vulnerable to those kinds of shocks.
A global recession, political turmoil in a key market.
Those are tough to predict, but they can have a ripple effect across the whole industry.
And then there's always the risk of those completely unforeseen events.
Like what?
Natural disasters, pandemics, security threats.
Right? Those can disrupt travel patterns and bring business to a standstill.
It sounds like IHCL will need to stay agile and proactive, always looking ahead and anticipating potential challenges.
Exactly. They'll need to keep a close eye on market trends, assess potential threats, and have contingency plans in place to soften any negative impacts.
It's all about being prepared for the unexpected.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about opportunities and risks. Now let's bring it back to you, the listener. What does all this mean for you? Why should you care about how IHCL is performing?
That's a good question.
Well, if you're an investor, understanding IHCL's financial health, their growth potential, and the risks they face can help you make smart decisions about where to put your money.
Right. And if you're someone who loves to travel, knowing about their diverse brands, their commitment to sustainability, and their focus on a great guest experience can help you plan your trips and choose the right hotels.
And even if you're just curious about the business world, this deep dive gives you a behind-the-scenes look at a major player in the hospitality industry.
It's a glimpse into how a company with such a rich legacy is adapting, innovating, and creating value in a world that's constantly changing.
It's a great example of how strategic thinking, financial smarts, a customer-centric approach, and a commitment to responsible practices can all work together to drive success.
They're hitting all the right notes.
As we wrap up our deep dive into the world of IHCL, we want to leave you with one final thought to consider. You've seen their impressive performance, their ambitious plans, and the challenges they face. What do you think is the biggest opportunity or the biggest risk for IHCL in the next few years?
It's a complex question, and there's no simple answer.
But taking the time to think about what we've discussed today can give you some valuable insights.
It might even inspire you to do some more exploring on your own.
And that's really what the Deep Dive is all about. We want to empower you with knowledge, encourage you to think critically, and leave you with more questions than answers.
Because the journey of learning never really ends.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.